Morning, everyone. How you doing today? It's Friday. It's April 11th. Glad to have you with me. We got some action, a lot of action here in the market. Surprising because there's not really much news out there. YM did a nice move upward off of our buy signal. Heating oil crushed it today. Look at that. We've already had a good move off of the low here. A couple of good trades that would have got us there. Crude oil, a winner in crude as well. I don't think nat gas did too much. No, nat gas, well, it's overbought, so we'll be interested in looking at that as moving forward. The micro NASDAQ had a volatility. Yeah, I think we would have got stopped out on this first one. Yeah, looks like we got stop hunt there, but we did get a long here, which is a winner. So that recouped some of those losses. 6E did have two good shorts. We usually take only the first short, or the first trade of an overbought region or oversold region. So that would have probably just counted for that. We had one winner in that guy. Silver got a fake out here. We did get a fake out right there. That's a loss. Could be setting up for a short here. Gold is in a valid sell situation. So I'm going to go ahead and put a
Order submitted.
I don't want to go.
Order canceled.
Let's go with one contract, and we're going to do a limit here.
Order
See if
submitted.
it comes back and hits our fill. If it goes to target, which is right down there, then we'll cancel it out. And it looks like it might do that. So that would have been a winner in gold if we hit that. Yeah, that's good. All right,
Order
so we hit
canceled.
target there without me. Micro NAS is pushing higher. Crude, nice winner in crude. Nice winning crude. Silver could go short any moment. Coming back up to that former support, now resistance level. Tempting, very tempting. I think if we get up to the top of that sell-off level, if we get up to here, and let's do it
Order
this way.
submitted.
A little off script from the strategy. We normally go short only at the sell dots. Mm, Yeah, you know what? It's just not going to happen.
Order
It
canceled.
just isn't going to happen. Let's wait for another signal. Let's wait for a valid signal. We're not here to invent new approaches. If you got a system that works, there's no need to change it. So we did hit overbought in YM. The Dow is overbought at that level. We do have a tendency that's positive, and we are positive right now. So I'm not too excited about going short yet. That gas, overbought. Crude, coming off oversold, did really nicely. All right. Heating oil is overbought. We've got to put in a Sell signal yet, have not established one. YM again overbought. Micro ES, nothing. Mini NAS, nothing. Six E predominantly oversold, but no buy dot yet. Silver has hit its sell signal. So let's
Order
put
filled.
a token trade in silver. We're short silver, and we'll get out right here by
Order submitted.
at that level. So we're targeting $400 gain in silver if we can get down to there. Giving us start. Silver is not, it's a beefy contract, so be careful if you trade it. It pushes above the prior high, I'll be out. I have no need to be a hero. Looks like it might do that. Yeah, all right. So we're
Order
out of
filled.
silver. That was down 200 in silver. Let's mark it, even if it's painful. All right, so that's a $200 loss in silver, guys. That's the way the crumble cookies. Yes, I said crumble cookies. Copper is just kind of weaving back and forth here. Gold, that was a good trade. All right, market. Equities are pushing higher and higher and higher. Crude with a nice setup. Okay, well, guys, let's trade heating oil here. If we get a, we are overbought, and we do have a extension 62 sell signal. And crude, well, crude is not overbought yet. So the tendency in heating oil is positive, something to consider.
Order submitted.
We'll go short heating oil at 2.0514. See if we can retrace up there. 0514 and 2.0514. I think we'll get hit on our fill. No, maybe not. Came close. Initial risk here is 223, but we're not filled yet. I'm gonna move the entry down to 2.051. That should fill us in a minute.
Order filled.
Okay, we are in heating oil. Buy
Order
limit
submitted.
there, buy stop up here.
Order submitted.
All right. We're risking $222 roughly. And it's working so far. We're up $33 in heating oil, going short. Short point. We're short from 2.051. Target here is $151. So see if we can push lower, guys. Just a couple points. $40 ticks in heating oil is our target. Now we're up 79, as you can see. Heating oil's got an ugly spread though. Could hit you. Be erratic. Where's crude? And crude is just hit our sell signal in crude. Let's go back there a second. Crude oil has just hit our sell signal. I don't want to be short both of them, so let's just hold off. We're in heating oil already. Looks like it's going to hit our target. Heating oil is a thin market. Thinner than crude anyway. Both can be thin. Heating oil, come on now, keep moving down. Whatever happened to our silver trade? Silver did push lower. Well, we got out a little early in silver.
Order filled.
Oh, good news. We just got our target in heating oil. We just got our target. So down to here. That's a winner winner. You might see I'm running one of my favorite indicators, a real simple one. It's called Auto Summarize PNL. So based on the rulers that I drew there, that green one is a winner. And auto summarize P&L will basically calculate all the rulers on my chart and sum them up for me so I know where I'm at. Yeah, look at an re-entry was warranted. You know, the initial stop on this, again, guys, was way up here at $725. I opted to get stopped out at $200 loss instead, but the initial stop was valid because we just hit target on that. Target here would have pulled in $425 move to target, but you know what? We missed it. All right. GC was definitely a short that one. I like that we moved back up into that prior support, now resistance. All right, heating oil continues to go south. Crude would have hit target. You can see that. Crude and heating oil moving in unison. Yeah, heating oil continues to move south. Hey, it would have been great to stay in it, but that is not our strategy. Our strategy is to get out at the extension 62 level, and we like to hit singles. YM, good trade in the YM. That was a winner. Yeah, MES. Well, no, MES did not hit overbought, so we can't call that. YM was overbought, so it was a valid short. ME Micronaz just came a little short of being in that red band, but it is in profit. Had you taken it? 6E was a winner. Gosh, I missed all these winners today. Yeah, SE silver was a winner. Had we gotten back in? Copper, nothing going on there. All right, let's go back to nat gas. Is overbought, so we get a short. We're waiting for the dot. Waiting for the extension 62 confirmation. Missed a number of trades today, would have put us in the green. Right now we're down $42. Meta is pushing lower. Yeah, YM was a good, two good trades. You see YM, we had a good buy signal here at the just shortly after the open. That would have brought us to target there, and then a reversal short would have brought us to target. That would have gone rail to rail in the YM. Pretty amazing, Leto channels. Definitely nailed that, the YM today. Crude also did pretty well. So crude wasn't really a valid setup. We didn't hit overbought, like the heating oil definitely was. Definitely. 6E was a great short before the open. Good long here after the open. SI, I just got out too early. And I don't think I mentioned this, but yeah, I was looking for a reversal candle in silver. It did come, and it was a good entry. Um, we came right into here. You see that right there? That low, that candle was a support turn resistance. Well, what can you do? What can you do? What can you do? All right, Micronaz hit its level, but it wasn't really a short. All right, we've got nothing really setting up. Crude is at $60 a barrel. Wow, pretty cheap. It is just kind of hovering here. I don't have anything overbought, oversold. Copper has just been pretty bland. You know, one of the good things about Leto channels is if it's not overbought, oversold, why trade it? Why trade something that's just zipping back and forth in a period of comfort, right? You want something that has moved outside of its norm because otherwise it could just chew you up back and forth. So you're looking for something that's an outsized move. You want to trade a market that's moving. And there's some ways to determine that. One of the best ways is looking historically, when has the market been overbought, oversold, based on a long-term moving average. And that's exactly what Leto Channels does for you. It finds out when we are overbought, oversold. Look at this gold level occurred right here at 934. We hit our 90-10 red dot, and also we hit that 62 line. But 90-10 line shows us that 10% of the time, only a small part of the time, does price exceed that red dot. And you can see we just hit the top of that red dot, exceeded by a tick or two, and then we reversed down from there. So smart call on Lido channels here. Now, earlier in the morning, we didn't have that. Unfortunately, we did exceed that. We pushed through pretty strongly. There wasn't a reversal candle until we hit the full extension blue dots up top. And that full extension means in history, prices hadn't exceeded that blue full extension level. Once we hit it, though, look at that. We did have a little bit of a sell-off reversal into the 90-10 zone. Another situation here, we pushed up again, hit the blue level. The full extension had a nice reversal candle downward for a couple of $2 maybe. Again, we hit that the full extension level. Boom, sold off from there, almost to the 100 line. So there is some statistical edge to checking out our history here. All right, we're still down 42 bucks, so we have got to hang in here. Find out who's got that 42 bucks and get it back. HG is in a wide-ranging channel here. Copper. Gold is flattened out. See, the 100 period moving average is pretty much sideways. All right, silver could become overbought. It continues to progress upward. Micro NAS doing its thing. Tendency being positive. We are above the 100 right now. And but we are not overbought. Heating oil is coming back up. We're at an area of prior support, so that could be resistance. But we're not anywhere near our historical overbought, oversold. Not anywhere near it on the crude, not anywhere. Well, we are coming out of nat gas actually does have a short setup. I'm going to go ahead and put an order in to go short at the
Order
market.
submitted.
3.516 is our entry, guys. Yeah, see, it's right on the extension 62 dot. The risk here is 260. Looks like we might get filled. I bet that target's going to be right around the 100 line, which is a really good target. We missed the entry by one tick, I'm imagining, but it's not over yet. You could see there's a good sell-off here. All right, we might fill it here, might fill it.
Order filled.
Yep. All right, buy stop
Order
above our
submitted.
stop. I think our target's going to be right
Order
here.
submitted.
Let's see what it does. Give it a minute to all right, our stop is showing. We're targeting not our stop, but our profit target. $140, and it's moving swiftly toward it. We're at 50 bucks, 60 bucks in profit. Let's see if I hit our 140, that'll put us in the green. Yeah, well, we're at $90 profit. Let's go ahead and I'm going to go break even on,
Order filled.
well, hey, so what? We hit target. It's 140 bucks to the good on natural gas. So we did a nice short here. Let's put that in our auto P&L. We had higher $40. So right there was our entry. And look at that. Buyers came in at that extension 62 level, popping it up. Well, we got out. So do whatever you want to do, natural gas. Have at it. It's Friday, a little lackluster in the equities. Heating oil. Wow, really taking a tumble. Crude is still around the $60 mark. That's just flattened out. 6E, we missed. Did we miss that long? Yeah, I guess we did. We missed that buy signal. Yep, that would have been a good trade in 6E. HG. HG is not too exciting. GC is not too exciting. Yeah, glad we got out of nat gas and when we did. 62 lines, extension 62 lines came to save us there, guys. Nat gas is a little thin market. Could be. We got our 140 bucks and we got out. Hitting singles wins baseball games. Hitting singles wins. Let me see silver one more time. All right, well, we're up $91. 91. Not enough. I don't know, guys. Friday. Maybe we should take it up early. Head on out. Make like a baby and head out. Make like a baby and head out. I remember that from the 80s. Yeah, I know. Stick to trading, not to comedy. Hey, Matt. I see you're commenting. Thank you for joining me. I hope you're enjoying my comedy. Matt, this is a new system that you probably are not aware of. Cool, very cool, Matt. Glad. Thanks for joining me. It's only been a couple sessions, so it's relatively new, but we're making some money. How's your trading been? This system, Matt, is we're doing two indicators here on the Lion, and it's called Leto channels is the one that's printing these bands that are above and below the yellow line. It's a smarter Bollinger Band. Think about it as an improvement to Bollinger's method. And it's based on historical data where we're looking at how during these time slices, it's half-hour time slices. You can see there's like chunks of time here where the bands are located. And we're looking at how far in history has price moved against the 100-period moving average. So we're using actual history, historical price data to determine what is overbought and oversold during this time of day. So we can see each time of the day, each time slot, where volatility is overbought, oversold, and where it reverses. So using actual history, sort of a scientific approach to overbought, oversold, and we look to as those as current or future exhaustion levels, and then we're going short or long based on a pivot system called extension 62. That also gives us our targets and stops. Silver is going into overbought. Once it gets above this red dot line, that is our 90-10 line. So 90% of the time prices are staying within that band, and only at 10% do we exceed it. So we just hit the levels, just touched that level. So we are overbought. HG has not hit its overbought, oversold. GC has not hit it. This was a valid touch of the overbought, oversold. You can see we just went over the red line. So when that happened, then we look for a magenta dot. In this case, is from extension 62 lines indicator. That's the second part of this equation. We go short there, and we just take a quick hit on that level. So this blue level was our target. Micro NAS market is going oversold, so you can see that. Oversold, the 90-10 line is these green dots. YM just barely hit it, maybe it didn't. Micro ES just got oversold. The good trade in crude at the open here. Right there, we went long, and you see we're oversold, so that activated the buy signal at the blue dot, and then we went there and got out. What was that? That was a roughly a $190 gain. Heating oil. Not many people trade heating oil, but we did have a valid sell dot right here, again activated after we went into the overbought territory and targeted right there. Got out with $168 profit. The one trade we lost was $200 loss in silver. So we went short at that dot. I tightened up the stops because I really don't want to lose a lot in silver. The initial risk was really ideally up here, which is a $725 risk level. So go short here, put a stop up above there, targeting down here. You can see the trade actually worked out. I just got out early. Yeah, Matt, so how is the Ultimate SNR doing now? You got your machine ID all squared away? All right. Silver is tumbling. Metals are heading south a little bit. One other feature of Leto channels, if I may, is you see the green dots up here, the red dots here. This is a tendency histogram or levels. And what it's saying is that during this time of day, the market in history, the recent historical past, has been a tendency to be below the moving average, the 100. Green means that during this time of day, the market tends to be above the 100 moving average. So it's been kind of a reversal today when these green regions, we've seen market has been a little bit south of the 100. The red dots, the market has actually been a little bit above the 100. So, I mean, historical trade locations is not always, no guarantee of future prediction. But now we're actually coming into alignment. We had the green dots above the 100, and that's exactly where gold moved during that time of day. Now, this would have been a good short. However, we were not overbought. We were not. Overbought is way up here, so technically we're not overbought. Good, Matt. Glad it's working for you. All right, MNQ is oversold. Now wait on an activation. We wait for extension 62 blue, cyan blue dot to form. That would be a good time to go long. You can see in the history of our movement, it's been lackluster or a little bit south of the 100. So this is future. Again, since we're using historical data, we can actually plot that data into the future. And that's what we're doing here. So this is the current bar right at that area, right at here, 10:25 in the morning. And then the future data is all ahead of us. So we're kind of projecting what happened in the recent past into the future. All right. One other thing, these blue dots down here are actually 100% move. So the full extent of the move during this time session was all the way down there. Yeah, exactly, Matt. That's what we're doing. We're looking for, yeah, reversion to the mean, definitely. It's like Bollinger Bands, except it's a smart Bollinger. We're using actual history to tell when it's overbought, oversold. Bollinger is, it's nice to know if prices are 2 deviations off of a 20 period moving average, but you know that they can trend pretty seriously off of that. And if it's two standard deviations right now, well, that doesn't mean anything. What if the market is typically three standard deviations during that time of the day, right? So you're trading short on a two deviation level, but that's nothing compared to historical averages. It could be two or four or five standard deviations. That's where you'd be interested. You'd be more interested in selling when it's, two, three, or four or five standard deviations off the MA. And you can see going into the future too, where the deviations kind of narrow. So you get a narrowing during this lunchtime, and then they expand coming at the 1:15, 2 o'clock. The distance is further. The levels aren't equidistant either. You see the green level is maybe a third of the red level, and that's just because it does segregate those values that are below. This level is based on values when it was below the MA, and this one is for all values that were above the MA during this history period. That is a setting in the indicator though. You can make it equidistant, so it doesn't really respect location. I got a feeling we could be setting up for a extension dot to print here, so let's keep an eye on that. I like to think of this as the science of overbought, oversold. Not, don't take that term lightly because we're looking for scientific evidence. Yeah, crude, nat gas. We had a good nat gas trade. Mhm. Any market you want to look at specifically, Matt? Most people, looking at equities and such are here. I do have also two stocks here. I got Meta and I've got Microsoft. Let's switch this. Who doesn't like to see what Tesla is doing today? You're trading the ES and NQ, all right. Well, we're still not overbought or oversold in Tesla. We're in kind of a no man's land. We just hit oversold in Meta. So that activates this as a buy level. So right here would be a buy signal. Target would be 62% of this swing. Target would be that's automatically drawn once the levels hit, but that would be our target. Yeah, trade the micros. That's smart. Well, the MES is oversold, and we're not getting a extension dot here because the swing isn't defined yet. I think I've got it set to a 4 significance swing. So 1, 2, 3. This one is not going to be a swing point. It's just doesn't have enough behind it to constitute for that. Could be a valid one. We do have one in the NAS. So I'll tell you what, let's go long 3.
Order filled.
All right, we're a little high, but we're at least in the market. Let's put our initial
Order
target up
submitted.
here. Our stop would be down here.
Order submitted.
All right, well, that's looking healthy. I do have this stock, so I don't like that prior support getting in my way. So I'm going to sell one.
Order filled. Order canceled.
So I just took a partial. I'm going to put a sell
Order
limit of 2
submitted.
remaining here. All right, so we're in a free trade. We've got our trailing stop move to break even. Let's see if we can break that ceiling. Yeah, see, it's giving us a little resistance on that up move. Yeah, we might get our trailing stop hit, but that's all right. That's life. That's life as a trader.
Order canceled.
All right, well, we got, I think, about 90 bucks on that one. Well, that did give us a little ceiling, a little bit of resistance. See if we push up to the target. Maybe I was a little too zealous on moving the trailing. Wouldn't be the first time I made a mistake. Wouldn't be the first time, right? But hey, here's the 6E. Silver is just wallowing north. Copper is here. We've got gold. A lot of these are just right now, volatility is shot. We're just hovering around the 100. We want to look for something that hits our Lido channel bands because that's when things get interesting. Micro NAS, yeah, we're still, that's proving to be a bit of a resistance there. Yes, sir. Mark Douglas said, you know, you can do all your analysis before you enter the trade, and once you enter the trade, it's completely out of your hands. You can move your stops and targets, that's about it. Um, but the market will do what the market wants to do. If you have a black swan event that comes out of nowhere and drives your price crazy, that's what happens. All right, well, we might have hit our target. Yeah, still I got 90 out of that. Ain't no problem. So that was one, and then let's do hmm. Yeah, that's about it. So I had two contracts that I got out at that level. That's why I'm drawing two here. Yeah, it just did not hit. I don't think it hit our my extension line, so we're still playing with that. I draw these rulers on here in order to fill in my extension 62 line. All right. All right, let's see what else is going on in the market. All right, well, 6E is hit oversold. Let's see if we get a setup there. Silver, HG, GC. Yeah, the extension 62. Yeah, actually, let me show you a clean chart of that. So this is a clean chart. This is just the extension 62 level on. It's an automatic extension 62 calculator. And it also draws this line here when you hover over an entry. And this basically shows from the entry level, which is the dot, to this proposed stop. You'll see at the bottom right hand corner is the 960. So that means it's a $960 risk. Uh, so that's the distance. But what it does is it takes this swing, this risk amount, and there's a parameter in there. It lets you select whatever fib level you want, but I've got it at 62.8. So it takes 62.8% of this distance and takes it down here. So the measured move here would be 100%. So 100% would bring, the target down here. Um, we don't want to hit 100%. We hit for the first fib there, which is 62% off of the 100. And that's our target. So the energy it took to get up to here, we take 62% of that energy to get down to here. Let me draw an extension tool and I'll show you how that works. So from here down to that swing, and then right about here, yeah, I just moved it, but you can see, yeah, that's about it. The 61.8 level is right where that target is. So it's an automatic way of drawing that tool. It's a non-traditional way of calculating the fib level, but I like it. I think it's more important to base your target off of this swing than it might be for this swing. Maybe you might be more familiar with an extension from this level down to here. It has some validity. 61.8 would have brought our target down to there. 100% would have hit it, so it was a really nice measured move. But that's about it. Does that make sense? And you don't want to trade all of these signals. Like this short would have been a failure because we didn't hit the target. This short would have been a failure unless you held on all the way to there, but don't recommend that. This short was a win. This short was a failure. So we filter out these signals using our overbought, oversold idea with Leto channels. That's our two-pronged approach. This is Leto channels kind of cleaned up. We don't have anything else on here but Leto channels right now. This box is an optional box that prints around overbought, oversold entry levels, just to give a little more visual selection. But this is gold, just like the extension 62 lines here is gold. And then when we put them all together, we get this. So this is the both tools on one chart. Silver is heading north. Hey, Micronaz did hit our target. So we would have hit our target if I didn't have a stingy trailing stop. Mr. Stingy. All right. Nothing there. Nothing going on really anywhere else right now. All right. Well, 6E is hitting oversold again. We never got an entry dot in the extension 62. Certainly, there's other entry methods. You could certainly do a kind of a Ross hook idea when it comes out of that zone and we have a red candle buy on a breakout above that high. That would have worked. I mean, there's a lot of entry methods. One thing I like about extension 62 is it gives us targets and it gives a stop. Hey, appreciate you joining me, Matt. It's good to, I appreciate that very much. Glad you're here. Yeah, still no oversold, overbought. We've got to get up here on the crude in order to take a overbought area. Right. Yeah, I have no desire to trade when we're right, just zipping back and forth around the 100. Market is directionless. So that's one cool thing about Leto channels, right? Is it tells you when you're overbought, oversold. So those are deflection points that have statistical edge to them. I've been chopped up on low volatility trades in my life. Not fun. Micro Nas, look at that. We are pushing higher, so good for that. Go for it, guys. Go overbought. Meta. So we did hit our target, and everyone trading stocks out there. Meta hit its target. Tesla was never oversold, so these really weren't trades. But Meta just hit the oversold level. Leto Channels prints these diamonds as basically whenever we go oversold, it'll print them at the green level and at this intermediate red level. The red level is just, I think it's just an ATR, one ATR distance uh, of those, of the bars. The blue level again is the full extension. So historically on this chart, Meta has not gotten below that distance from the MA. That is the fullest move. Again, this is a 90% move down to the green level, 90% move here at the red, 100% at the blue. So yeah, this would have been a winner in Meta. We would have gone from here to here, 347. The risk was, well, the risk I can get from here was $6 risk, rounded to the nearest dollar, but that's what that, so 300, this is a max risk, so that's a parameter in extension 62. This is telling me I want $300 max risk, and if I'm gonna have a risk of $7, $6, that means I could trade 50 shares for that $6 risk. So that's a little contract calculator, sizing calculator. That is 100, I think it's an EMA, could be an SMA. I think it's EMA in the middle. I have been looking at longer periods. 200 is the max I think you'd want to do, but it's interesting. You know, it winds it out. You can go whatever period you want here. 50. It doesn't make much sense to go too low. The trending is too strong. So you want something that's more stable. But yeah, you can do MA period there. Time slice also you can change. So right now I said 30 minutes. So from 10:30 to 11 is what this time slice is here. And you do have the ability to change it. Like if we went down to 15, I'll show you what that looks like. So these regions now are half as large. They're 15 minutes. So 10:15 to 10:30, 10:30 to 10:45. But it makes it a little too choppy for me, so I don't tend to do that. All right, where are we at in our futures trades? I do also look at Bitcoin and Solana. Let's take a look and see what Bitcoin's doing. Bitcoin is just everywhere. Well, we had a couple of good shorts in Bitcoin that I wasn't paying attention to. So the first short would have been a profitable one. That was a $250.90 win, roughly. The risk would have been 406. You would have gained 250. If you go on a second trade out of there too, that would be a winner. I don't usually do second trades. What about $189 on a risk of 307? but to each his own. All right, so that was there. Solana. Who doesn't love a good meme coin platform? That was a winner. That one would have been probably a loser if you took the second trade. But I also consider the 100 MA as a good target or support, right? So I get a little nervous when we're trading near the 100. Let's take a look historically here. We just tickled that overbought area. Just didn't quite enter it. So here was an overbought signal. This one turned out to be a winner, right? Here to there. So it got hit right about here or here. One of those. That was a 54-cent winner in Solana. So this was a loser. This was probably a loser. This was a loser. This was a winner. These were winners that were overbought, overbought. Winner here, another winner if you took all three of them. Oversold. Might have got filled here. This was a winner right there, that blue dot. This one was a loser if you took it. Again, I don't usually take the second or third, I just take the first one. This was a winner, just hit the target. All right, so that's cryptos. The wild ride, the wild world of cryptos. All right, we didn't hit overbought. 6E takes a plunge. Silver is overbought here. Overbought silver. Yeah, not too much else going on. Oversold in 6E. But we don't have a valid swing high. That would be extension 62 dot. I do have some other videos too, Matt, if you're interested, at my store. If you go to store.sbgtradingcorp.com, you'll see, I think I've got one or two videos there for both of these indicators. Well, I normally trade until 11, and we're coming up at 11, and then 10:56. But it's got some really good signals in the afternoon. Don't want to neglect the afternoons. They could be solid. Actually traded the 6J in the afternoon. I was up a couple $100, but it retraced back to my break even yesterday. close. Don't trade the 6J often because it could really be crazy. All right, well, we might be pushing up to another swing up on the micro NAS. YM was a winner. I don't like entering close to the MA since it is a good resistance level. I like these, deep away from the MA. You want to get an entry point that's far away. Like this one was a good short. Uh, this one was a good long, a little bit herky-jerky at the open, but you want to trade away from the 100. My recommendation. Well, we're up $181 here, and we're coming at the end of 11 o'clock. Guess there's a somebody speaking at 11 o'clock. Oh yeah, so there's a lifetime option, and the lower price is a yearly subscription, but the upper price is lifetime license. So you have an option. If you do buy the lifetime license, I do have a 100% satisfaction guarantee. Yes, unheard of in the indicator world. So if you buy a lifetime license, use it for a year, and if you don't like it for any reason, yeah, get your money back. That's not available on the yearly license. If you buy the yearly, you just, don't subscribe again. But I think you can see it's profitable. I made just in this week, I've made 500 something bucks on average every day. Trading small numbers. I don't trade large quantities of contracts, so it's based on one or two contracts. I might do three in the micros. All right, guys, 11 o'clock. You see my red background is popping in. That shows me that my trading is over. Matt, hey, I'm really, really thankful that you came. So it's Friday. Oh, look at that. Somebody's speaking, and the MES is responding. Mr. Williams, I believe, was speaking. Yeah, this week is kind of I'm just demoing the trade room a little bit here, so it's free on YouTube, and I might do this again next week as well. But eventually it will become a paid service in the near future. It could be by the end of the month. And purchasing the trade room will get you free licenses to the code during the trade room time, so you won't have to buy any software. Uh, Pricing, I think it's listed there, is it not? Hmm. 6E does have a buy signal popping up on extension 62. But 60 has not hit the entry price. Silver is way overbought. Prices have not been this high in silver in the last, I think I got 50 days. What have I got in here? 15 days. So the last 2 weeks of silver has not been that high, 2 or 3 weeks. So we are, now this is interesting. We're severely overbought beyond the 100% extension, and you can see tendency wise, market tends to be below the 100. So that's an interesting divergence. Certainly well overbought now, and again, tendency has been below the 100. So that kind of divergence should spark interest. A little mad about that $200 loss in silver. I think I just got shaken out. Good trade. Went right to target after I got out. That's life. We love vie. That interesting, huh? Overbought in the YM, immediately retreated off of that level. I mean, I wouldn't have traded it, but XE is going lower. Don't buy it. Don't buy it. Europe is crashing. All right. I hope you had a good time, Matt. Thank you for joining me, everyone else. Um, Matt, feel free to chat more with me. Got any questions? Shoot them over. Until then, guys, God bless you. God bless you all. I hope you have a wonderful weekend here. Tonight, I'm going to a local theater, so that should be fun. Got comped tickets from the meeting from the play organizer, some concert, I think. So taking the wife out. I hope you guys have a great weekend. God bless you. Wish you all the best. Nothing but good things in your life. All right. Have a good day, y'all.